Hello, Ron Bashar here. So please excuse the fan noise in the background. I'm hoping it's not very loud. I have been asking people. It gets rather warm in here, and can't really stay, can't really play anything without it in the background. So that's out of the way. I would like to thank all of you for reaching 900 for the second time, official 900 subscribers. Thank you very much. So guys, I am trying to not leave you guys videoless, so to speak. But of course, your creativity can only go so far, right? So this time around, I'm going to talk about something that I have derived and devised myself. So what I'm going to talk about is, guys, what is the minimum trade that you should be doing, right? Because I'm sure you have had this. You are selling some, weak items for one exalted, right? Someone whispers you invite them, they don't reply, they reply, they get in group, you press accept, they don't, they leave, right? They leave you hanging, and you are like, what am I doing with my life, right? It's only one exalted, but also, you also want to get the exalted. So, what is the minimum amount of trade that you should be doing? And obviously, right, the answer will be based on your resources, right? I mean, someone that is just starting, that has 30 exalted, right, has to do that trade, right? Because that's a lot, compared to their total wealth. But for example, I'm sitting on about 800 divine right now, approximately, and I also have a lot of goodies that are worth quite a bit. I would say let's approach it pessimistically and say 200 divine. It's much more actually, but let's say 200. So guys, I'm approximately sitting on 1,000 divine, right? So what should I be doing? What should I not be doing? So for example, guys, I shouldn't be doing one exalted sales, right? Because if we assume that the divine exalted exchange ratio is about 1 to 350 these days, so I'm sitting on 350,000 or so exalted, total wealth wise. So guys, the amount that I have arrived at is 0.01%, right? And of course, this is approximate. I mean, you could go a little bit higher, you could go a little bit lower. Lower is a little bit more advised, but you shouldn't be going much lower than that. So you shouldn't be going for trades that are worth 0.001% of your wealth. So for example, guys, let's say exalted wise, I'm sitting on 350,000 exalted, or divine wise, I'm sitting on about 1,000 divine. And so what I should be doing is 0.1 divine, or 35 exalted trades, right? I shouldn't be going lower. That's what my rule says. This is, as I said, an arbitrary number I have come up with. You can obviously modify it to your content, but what that says to me is approximately I shouldn't definitely be doing one digit exalted trades, and also I should not be doing low two digit, 10, 15. So I think I should do trades of 20 to 25 exalted and higher, right? Lower just does not, add up. So for example, guys, let me say, but of course, there are exceptions. For example, you have a ton of tablets here, right? And, someone says, I want to buy all of your irradiated tablets at 10 exalted each. That's very worth it, because the thing is, guys, it's an must trade, and as a result, you would be getting like 600 exalted, right? I mean, let's say a full inventory of irradiated tablets, which I just made a sale like that. I just actually made two sales like that. If you remember from the stream, this was pretty full, right? So I sold about 120 irradiated tablets for 10 exalted each. So that is worth it, right? But what is not worth it is, guys, these, right? I am going to retire this tab, shortly after this video myself, right? I'm just, showing you. So guys, 10 exalted. So guys, take a look at these items. I mean, What happens if I sell 3 of these? 30 exalted. It's not worth it because you put it up, they take a stash tab, they take the time to price them, right? They take the time to move around them between tabs. Then some people get interested, rarely, right? Then you have to deal with them. As I said, they will ghost you, they will ignore you, they will, I don't know, you press accept and they don't. You put your item up and they put up 1 exalted. Those fait accompli trades, I'm sure you have seen that. I mean, you are selling the item for something and the guy just puts up something lower without countering offering whatsoever, right? I mean, I'm okay with counter offers. I mean, the guy says, can I pay 8 exalted for it? Then you decide if you want to go for it or not. But what? Why do they put 3 exalted? The item is priced at 10. You whispered me for 10. We have agreed on 10. Why make a one-sided change to the deal that was agreed upon already? It's a bit weird. Anyway, so guys, I should definitely retire this. I think I will keep the 20 in place. It is somewhat below my 0.01% rule, but that's just a general thing. So my 0.01% rule says 35 exalted, and of course, guys, 35 exalted is a bit of a weird amount, right? I mean, 40 would have been nice 2 stacks, right? But 30 also is accepted, but 35 does just sound weird. I mean, I could maybe do a 25 exalted, 25, 50, 100, and 200, something like that. But of course, 25 is a little bit annoying because it's not 1 stack. But the thing is, I should definitely retire this, and I am going to retire this. As I said, after this video, 10 exalted, I should not be doing this. So guys, what does this mean? At the beginning of the season, you should kind of be doing every trade, right? Because your total wealth is kind of nothing, right? You have 3, 5 exalted. Maybe if you were lucky, you get like 1 divine, and your total wealth is in the neighborhood of like 50 exalted. And by the 0.01% rule, kind of everything is worth it. But I would also put a minimum there, guys, about about like half an exalted or 1% of a divine. I would put a minimum there. So for example, guys, your total wealth is 10 exalted. That doesn't mean you should be doing alteration trades, right? Never do alteration trades, in my opinion. Don't do alteration trades, don't do regal trades, right? Alch trades are okay within the first few days of the season because they would be worth about half an exalted, and you could sell them. You could sell stuff for 1 alch, right? But I would say don't go any lower. So guys, the rule is 0.01% of your total wealth, and let's say half an exalted or an alch, whichever is highest, right? I mean, because at the beginning of the season, when for example season 2 hits, 0.3 hits, we will all be broke, right? If we start in the season, and then we won't have much. But that doesn't mean, as I said, you should be doing alteration or augmentation trades. Those are worthless, right? It's not worth the amount of time that you invest in the trading. Because as I said, if the trades were very fast and automated or something, right? For example, I put something up, the guy whispers me, we get together and the trade happens, maybe, right? I don't still think augmentations and transmutations would be worth it, but guys, of course, there is always the guy not replying, they ghosting you, right? Oh, I have told all about that. So there is, I would say, a minimum of like 20% chance that the trade doesn't happen, even if they whisper you on an item that you have listed and they are whispering you about. So yeah, have to take that into account. So for example, for me right now, the sweet spot would be 20 or 25 exalted, I think, and the exception would be obviously, for example, guys selling omens, etc. So guys, the currency exchange stuff is a whole exception for this rule. Why? Because there is no human factor, right? There is no trades not happening or anything, right? You just put the stuff up there, and again, the en masse exception is also at work there. I mean, for example, let's say you have a lot of ohms of amelioration, right? And you have 50 ohms of amelioration for one divine. That is again worth it because you can just do it in one fell swoop, right? For example, guys, selling 50 ohms of amelioration for like 5 or 6 exalted each, and then bringing up all the currency together and getting a divine would be painful. But you can do it in Alva at a really low gold cost, right? Pretty negligible. So that is also, of course, worth it. I'm talking about trades that you actually do yourself. You put your stuff up, you trade with people, right? So yeah, 0.01% rule, guys. As I said, calculate your net worth, and then take 1% of 1% of that, and that will give you a number, right? And then tinker around it. For example, guys, if it's like 18 exalted, right? Obviously you shouldn't be doing 18 because 18 exalted is just weird, right? I mean, just do 20 or 10. And as I said, you can go a little bit lower. So for example, it says 35 exalted for me, but I'm thinking about putting the minimum at 20 or 25 exalted. It feels okay to me, right? I do about 10 interactions. So guys, think about this. Your minimum sale, how many interactions do you have to do at that level for it to be meaningful? So for example, guys, 25 exalted minimum, for example, I would have to do like 15 sales to get a divine, right? So that doesn't feel very bad to me. 15 transactions add up to one divine, so that does feel okay. So I think I will go for about 25 exalted, and you can of course decide about that. I'm just recording this video for people that cannot really let go of value, but also it yields such a minor return, you actually end up wasting time and resources because imagine trying to do like 10 important trades for one exalted each. That's a lot of time wasted, right? In that time you could have cleared one map and could have gotten a yield of like a minimum of 10 exalted from it. Yeah, so yeah, that's my take on this, guys. I hope it provides useful to a few of you, and thank you again for your support in reaching 900 subscribers, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.